आप सभी को मेरा सादर प्रणाम. So I hope I won't allow any yawning here. So
Then we breathe.
okay. So I I just wanted to join this course because I knew that I'll get something what I want. And what I want is to know more about myself, to get closer to myself. So, starting with the retreat at Naukachetal, we did this exercise where we had to make our outline on a very huge chart paper and then write down your dreams, what you wanted to do always. So, there were so many, and one thing which was highlighted that I made a globe, and on the top of that, it was written travel. So I have made a replica of that. Yeah, it was just like that. So I wanted to travel, and I thought that, oh my god, 26 years of my life and I haven't traveled alone or anywhere, even with my friends, etc. So this coming to IAT made me travel back and forth from Gurgaon to Faridabad, from Faridabad to Gurgaon. So in that journey, I have spent a lot of time in this tool. This is very fancy for a cab. So yeah. So yeah. So coming back and forth, back and forth. So I was accompanied by various people. Most of them were cab drivers. So and then I got to know a person here. She used to take me here, like she carpooled with me, and now I am driving on my own. So from coming alone to getting relying on someone to getting reliable to someone. So, and also one of the things which I wrote in that chart paper that. That I want to have control of my life. Like I don't want to be driven by other people. So from having the steering of my car to having the steering of my life together, I am ahead, like somewhere. I'm headed towards somewhere. So talking about traveling, so I have traveled back and forth just like that. So having taking the average attendance, taking my average attendance and all, and so I have traveled 13,122 kilometers in these 10 months. So that is, hold on, that is if I get to travel to my dream destination and come back, my dream destination is Italy. So if I get to travel to Italy and come back, that is approximately the number of kilometers which I travel here. So
You are on your way.
yeah, yeah, I've come back. So I mean, universe has its own serving. So I wanted to travel, it gave me traveling, and to my dream destination, that is where I can find myself. So maybe the math, half of the math is towards half of the math of the kilometers is I have traveled towards myself. I'm able to travel through reflections and various opportunities where we happen to have the resistance, feel the resistance that if I could do it, I could not do it, something like that. And there were obviously, like most of us, there were many fallbacks, just quitting moments that okay, I'm done, I can't be a teacher. But then again, realizing, getting it realized by Sulana ma'am and which was her, that they don't said it so bluntly that what are you doing? That's what you were doing all your life. I mean, now that you're doing something which is meaningful to you, you are going to quit from that as well. And though being a teacher is really meaning for me, so that I want to make the connection with how I want to be a teacher. So one day, there's a kid in our class. He is very energetic and very you know hyper all the time. He would make comments and he'll stand up and start dancing anytime, any moment. And one day from the library, he came running towards the washroom, crying, and it was really shocking. And Sunanam called me that just find the kid, he has gone running, and just figure out what's going on. So I just took him to an empty classroom and spoke to him, and he was crying. It was disheartening to see the most cheerful person crying that way. And he said, "What happened?" So he said that some other kid said something to him. I said, "What?" He said, "You are a waste of a life," and that was very shaking. But then I felt very fortunate that I it was very new to me, by the way. Regardless of very new to it, I got to counsel that kid. That I made him understand that he is very individualistic, and he needs to understand his qualities, and then I felt that this is why I want to be a teacher. That teaching will get me these kind of moments where I will try and help a kid to resolve their own issues. So because if I sit with a kid 1 hour daily for 7 days a week and tell him to be a good person, or just resolve yourself, etc., this won't help. But teaching will get me such opportunities to opportunities to see where they are emotionally, mentally, because the academic thing is secondary, but they need to figure out where they are really. So I want to work towards them. I want to work towards myself. So I know that I have to be comfortable with myself and be loving towards myself, but somehow I wasn't able to do it. And figuring out that my confidence is not up to not what I want to be, just because I have self doubts. So this connection I was able to make, but then I wasn't able to do anything about it. I have self doubts. Okay, what now? But then last month we had this MPL long session of MPL, that is mindful personal. I'm really sorry. I know that right. So I was checking yours. So, so there in that MPL session, there was one activity that we did, that you have to pretend that the person sitting next to you is you, and you are your critique, and just express, not use the words, just express what your critique says to you. So Vishwa sir and Shruti ma'am demonstrated to us, and by just looking at them, I understood that this is going to be way powerful than it is looking like. So I did it with Varsha, and it was so powerful that I couldn't do it like the way it was supposed to be, and I started trying. The realization what happened that day is that my critic is the one who is demeaning me, who is letting me down, and who is calling me disgusting. But I realize that my critique is disgusting, by the way. I'm not the one. and uh, and seeing that, there was a video which I've seen on YouTube or something, that there are two plants kept in a glass jar or something, and in one there is verbal abuse is played, and in another that verbal appreciation is played. So the one which is with the verbal abuse, the plant is drying up, and the other plant is just growing beautifully, blooming and all. And ethically, as a teacher, I am not supposed to do that to any kid, but I was doing it to myself. and realizing that I know, okay, I got this reflection, now what am I going to do about it? I had no way through. But after a week, I realized that there was some lowering of the volume button of that critique which was going in my head. And it, it was moving for me. It was when I see it, we don't hear your critique. I didn't hear my critique, I didn't imagine what my critique would say, but I could see it face to face. So I want to make the connection there, that when Sadanandji's session happened, I shared the same thing with him in the group. Then he asked me that, how old were you when you were doing that? I said, I'm 27 years old. I mean, what do you mean? He said, no. What age of a person would say that to someone? Then it just clicked me that a teenage girl would do that to herself. So it was coming from there, and so I want to just be there with children to so that I could help them prevent layering up for, till it's very long. Like we have to just layer down every bit, and we have to figure out what is the layer, etc., etc., etc. So a beautiful thing which Sadanandji shared. Um, I was raised by the bulls. I'm sorry, I'm kidding. he said that he said that we can't take someone where we haven't been. So now that I know that this is, it's not of anything of a rocket science. We just need to see it. We just need to able to see it clearly. So I think that really made the idea of me becoming a teacher very concrete. That with social studies, with English, with I can just incorporate such kind of things so that they could reflect better and know themselves better. And children get into conflicts very easily, but conflicts is the thing where they actually get to see where they are. And so there was a fight in my class. One kid was just giving punches to the other kid into the gut and all. And after 15-20 minutes, they were walking around in the lunchtime, putting hands on their shoulders. It was really shocking to me that how children are very forgiving, how they are naturally kind. So why can't we help them retain it to when they go to adulthood? You know, we just, I mean, so we were initially very sorted as children, but then being adult, why do we get complex? So because this is how it have happened. But then now we have figured out we can address them, right? Right. And also, I just one last thing I wanted to share about. I happen to be there in the sculpting classroom, where we have to make something like something, and I made a flower, and yeah, I made a flower. So it was very perfect. Like जैसा मैं चाहती थी, because I'm obsessed with flowers. I love flowers, and I just छोटी पत्ती, बड़ी पत्ती, whatever, and getting into the mold and digging the clay out of it, and then putting it into another mold so that it will be of plaster of Paris, etc. So it was very perfect initially, but when the real final thing came out, when I was just breaking it down, some leaves were cracking, something was very happening, very, the formation was damaged totally. But then the teacher there said me that this is the beauty of it, the final outcome is not what you think it could be, but then you have to accept it as perfect as you thought that it has to happen. So I mean, we have a personal notion about something that this is going to happen in a certain way, but then it happens the way it was supposed to happen. So just to end with, I would like to show that flower which I completed just yesterday, and So this is my perfect imperfect flower which I made, and yeah. Thank you very much.